Hi everyone, my name is Dina. I'm back to start a new segment for you that I have been requested to do by a viewer. And I was asked to show how I load my um, floor stand, my roller frame floor stand. I actually have an Elon floor stand and I use roller frames in my floor stand. So I will do a quick little segment on loading my brand New Year, New Start that I am starting today, and it is Putini Putini, and the name of it is When I Think of Stitching, and it was gifted to me by my sister this year, and I'm going to make it my New Year, New Start. So the first thing I will tell you that my Elon floor stand has a little adapter spacer in here um, that helps me to use roller frames versus Q-snaps. When I'm using a Q-snap, I take that out because it has a nice big um, diagonal line across here, which creates a really good grip on my Q-snap, makes it like a claw around my Q-snap. But when I'm using my roller frames, I want them flat. So I put my little adapter in here to make it more flat. And I'll open it wide so I can slide it in without any trouble. This just opens up the mouth of it. Now I have put my fabric on my roller frame, so I'm ready to go with it. And I'm just gonna slide it right in here. There you go. Now it's sitting on top of that little spacer, and then all I'm gonna do is tighten it down to hold it nice and tight. And I tend to work at a desk. A lot of people don't. They'll work over a couch arm or something like that. But I work at a desk, and one of the advantages of doing that is that I can rest the end of my roller frame, if need be, on the edge of the desk if it's too heavy. Now this one is sitting up without any trouble. But some of them that are really long, like my Pandemic, I let it rest on the desk. Then I have another knob out here which controls the tilt this way. So I set it up to what's comfortable for me, and then I just tighten it down a little bit. I don't make it really tight because when I flip it to work on the back of it, I just loosen this a little bit, and it's easy to turn it over, tie off my thread, whatever I need to do. Undo a knot, you know how it knots up sometime and you don't know it. Anyway, so there you have it. My stand also, I'll turn you just a little bit. It has a arm here that has a tray in it, and the tray has a place for, as you can see, for floss to hang over. It has little holes for me to put things in. I put my needle threader in there. I have a needle minder built into my roller frames. I'll show you that right here. I also have a magnetic strip on my floor stand, so I don't have to use needle minders too often. I also have a needle cushion right here that's a soft, that I can place needles, especially if they're threaded and whatnot. This moves and changes, so I can adjust it. But I put my pattern here in front of me, and I have a clip here so that I can secure my pattern, so that if someone opens a door, if Coco comes running by and there's a breeze, it doesn't just, blow everything right off. And that's how I secure my patterns on there. Since it's wood, and needle minders don't work well, on that. They don't work at all. So this is how I use my floor stand. And I am a two-handed stitcher. And so I will take my dominant hand and I'll put it underneath because it makes it easier for me to find holes from underneath in my dominant hand. And then I just pull up with my left hand. So I'm gonna get my needle threaded and get ready to start my New Year, New Start. But I hope that this has helped you, the questions that you had about using the floor stand. I have it, this arm is adjustable out here that holds the clamp, and so I can move it up and down as I need to, you know, to get it at the right height for me. But I like it to where I can just use my arms without having to lift too much. And I find that that is pretty comfortable. Let me know if you have any other questions, if I missed what you were looking for, but I hope you found that helpful. I'm going to get busy on my new start. Happy stitching, everybody. Happy New Year's Eve. Well, hello, everybody. It is 9:25 on New Year's Eve, and I am here to share with you my New Year, new start. I have been working on it this afternoon up until just a few minutes ago. I have been able to get 2 prompts using it, which is great. But it's one of those things I got for Christmas and decided I absolutely have to do it. I have to stitch on it. So whatever else I might have been considering for a new year, new start, went right out the window when I saw this. This is my When I Think of Stitching, there we go, by Puntini. And I'm going to try to get it where you can see it a little better without the glare. There you go. Isn't that precious? I love it. I love the motifs on it. And I love the color palette. I think it's gorgeous. The colors came with it. They're DMC. Here's my color palette. It's gorgeous, and it's got a beautiful gray blue in there. Some really pretty reds. And some brown, beige, gold, just beautiful colors. Well, I went in my stash getting ready to start this, and I pulled out a Fortnite fabric Lugana, 32 count Lugana. I got this from Garan Stitchery. It's a fat quarter, and the name of it is Mind Blowing, and I think it is mind blowing. Isn't that beautiful? My light is a bit garish tonight, so it's later, and I had to put it on pretty bright for you to see it. But you can see it's got a lot of blue-gray in it, a little bit of golden brown in it. Very much the color palette of my threads. And so this is probably the width, right around in here. I left a big fat 3-inch margin here and about a 4-inch margin here, simply so I could put it on my roller frame real easy. And I just came down here, counted over my 3 inches, and started working on it. Really like it. It went very quickly. I started with the lettering because that gives me spots to count off of all the way across. But let me share something with you. If you have this pattern, be careful, because the symbol on the pattern for the stitching is an open square. The symbol, well, you really can't see for that light, I'm so sorry. I'll move that a little bit. The symbol that you actually see on here that's an open square is a green. It's one of the greens, like one of these. That is obviously not the lettering color. The lettering color is black. Well, everywhere there's black, you can see right in there. You see that big square that looks open? The color's missing. It's supposed to be a solid black square. So I made a note. I looked at every single place on the pattern, compared it to the front, where that open square looked like it was, and it should all be black. So there is an error in this pattern as far as the color code to the actual emblem. So be aware, just be aware of that. Anyway, so today, I mentioned I got 2 prompts. I was working on one of the daily 30 prompts about New Year's resolutions. And one of the prompts was that we could stitch on a whip of our choice, but we had to reveal one of our New Year resolutions for stitching. And so I used this start to do that with, and I stitched 225 stitches at first and stopped and took a picture and posted it because I needed at least 200. And then I kept going because there was another prompt in there that said that you could stitch on a whip that you were doing something new for the first time. Well, this is the very first time I have stitched on Fortnite fabric. So I went ahead and continued working on this, on this beautiful fabric, and I really do like it. I think it's quite lovely. So on that second prompt, I stitched 233 stitches for my 200 stitches, and I was able to post both of those. Well, then I got to looking at it, and the only thing left in that word was the G. So I added in the G, and my total stitches for all of it today is 534 stitches, and I think that is a great start. That is a great new start for me. I'm not worried about that at all. There's only one prompt left in that group for me to work on, but it has to be with a different whip. It can't be with one I've already used. It says on a different whip of your choice, you can stitch and then tell a second resolution for your stitching. So if I'll look around here in a minute and pick out something else and see if I can't get either 100 or 200 stitches in it, and I will be finished with that challenge that came out yesterday. And yes, I'm doing it very quickly because we are leaving town in the morning, and I really just wanted to start off the year I don't want to start skipping all the things that I normally participate in. So if I can get this one done before I go, that'll be great, because then there'll be another one that's put out there, and I'll need both weeks to work on it probably, because I won't have as much stitching time. But I got Happy Mail today. I want to share it with you. My sister Stephanie wrote me the sweetest note talking about our Christmas that we shared over the phone, and just about how much it means to both of us. And she sent me a little token, a farewell present, a bon voyage gift, as it were. She sent me this collector's pin, the I Am a Needlesmith. And this is the by the Bay pattern, one of them, that I'm working on. I actually have it packed and ready to go with me. So isn't that cute that I got that today? That was quite a send-off. I'm excited about it. And it is actually a pin. So I will be able to wear that at some of our stitching meetups or whatnot. So, well, that's my report for today. My husband's going to be watching the Georgia football game tonight. He probably already is. I think it started at 8 our time. So I'm going to run down there and check on him and see how he and Coco are doing. She's been very, very anxious today because all the suitcases are packed and hers is not. And she's too clever. She's noticed it. So she has been extremely anxious and barks at every little noise, and just a bundle of nerves. So my husband took her to a park, and they went running and playing really hard to kind of wear her out a little bit so she would nap. But she wants to be with one of us at all times. The good part about that is I'm getting a lot of Coco love. She keeps coming up to me and wanting me to love on her and hold her and just, let her. She's gotten to where she'll jump up on my arm. I put a picture of that in my last video. And she wants me to pet her and love on her. And if I do it with just one hand, she reaches over with her paw and taps my other hand to let me know, oh no, I want you to touch me with both of your hands. She's a mess. Okay, I'm going to let you get back to what you're doing. I hope you're celebrating. Hope you're doing something 12 and 12. I hope you're doing something fun. And I just hope you're having a great start to your new year. Be safe. I hope that you are healthy, and if you're not now, I hope you're on the road to recovery. And I hope you just have a wonderful year next year with lots of your family and friends time and lots of stitching time. Happy New Year, everybody, and happy stitching. Hi, everyone. Hello and welcome. It is January 1st, and we have just started our vacation. Um, we've had several legs of the trip, if you ask my husband. The first leg was taking Coco out in the country to drop her off with Fred, and he said she's never been so excited. He's never seen her that excited there, although she does get quite excited. She was quite excited today, and that made us feel good because she's going to be there a little while. And then we had a wonderful friend who allowed us to drive to his home. He and his wife are going to let us park our car there, and he drove us to the train station, and we took our martyr all the way to the airport, so we didn't have to pay to park, which was wonderful. Friends are the best, I tell you. People are so kind. We got on the train. We rode the train all the way into the airport with a lot of red t-shirts and lots of red jerseys because it was a Falcons football game today. Red and black. Everybody had on red and black. We made it to the airport. We had already pre-checked. We had already pre-checked in, so we went right up to print our luggage labels and checked our bags and headed straight to security. It was busy today. By the time we got through security, we didn't even have time to get lunch. We had to go straight to our gate because they had just started boarding. We didn't stand in line there more than probably 8 minutes before we were on the plane. I do not like cutting it close. We didn't mean to cut it close, but it just took a long time today. It took a long time on the train because there was a lot of people getting on and off, and then it took a long time in security, but no problems. We went right through without hitch. So we got on our plane. We flew to Fort Lauderdale, and we are now in our hotel here in Fort Lauderdale, where we will check out tomorrow about noon and Uber over to the port and get on the ship. The fun thing was, coming up in the elevator tonight, there was a gentleman there who had just walked in from a drugstore. He had a little bag of goodies, snacks, and he said, just went to get me some snacks to take on a cruise. My wife and I are going on a cruise tomorrow. And we said, really? Where are you cruising to? And it turns out they're on our boat. So we've already met one couple that's going to be on the boat. That was cute. Well, my husband has walked over to Publix because he forgot his sunglasses, of all things. And he went to get him a pair of sunglasses. And then when he gets back, we're going to have salad. He's bringing us a salad from a deli that he passed on the way back. And then we'll just hunker down for the evening. So I am going to get to stitch tonight. And the first number that was called in Bringo was number 5, and that is a whip or new start with words. And so my alternate piece, I'll have to use my alternate because my original one was Autumn Bell Bull, and I did not have any time to do that this morning. I was going to try, but I didn't have time. So I am going to do I am a needlesmith, and I'm going to put my 100 stitches in, and that will be able to participate in the first day on time, which I'm excited about. And this is where I'm at right now. You may not be able to tell a whole lot of difference tonight if I don't get to stitch more than 100 stitches, but I will come back and just take at least a picture of where I get to. I may not record again, but it's difficult to do in here because I don't have anywhere to really prop up my camera on my phone, so I'm having to hold it. So I'm sorry that it's been a little shaky for you. I apologize. But we're getting started on our trip, and I'm getting started on Bringo. I hope you are. Happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. This is Dina, and I am on the Emerald Princess, and we are sailing to the Panama Canal. So I'll keep you posted as we make progress and as we're heading hither and thither and yon. But I wanted to show you my stitching because this will be a trip for stitching for me. I had planned that all along. Although we will be busy. We've got lots of stuff we're going to do on the ship. I'm excited, but I want to get my stitching time in as well. And my husband's a real jewel about that. So I am ready to go to my first stitching meetup, and I'm the only one signed up to go. We'll see if anybody shows up that didn't pre-register. They usually do. I'm hoping they do. But I wanted to show you this. This is something I brought with me. This is a calendar that my friend Glow gave me. It's almost like a journal, and I thought this would be very helpful on my trip because there's lots of room to write, and that's not something I have on my regular like book of days. So here's what I did. I listed my acrostics here that I'm working on, a couple of big prompts that I'm working on, and then here is where I've written down the date, where I'm at, because I'm cruising. And then here's where I've tracked my stitches as I was stitching different times during the day yesterday on my project. Well, this was on Sunday. This was on I Am a Needlesmith. And then yesterday I stitched on Christmas sentiments to meet my Bringo call number. And I stitched a little bit on 13th Colony, but I'm taking that with me today. But here I wrote down, boarding. And then here's what I wrote for what I stitched, and then here's where I started on the second one. So this is going to help me when I get back home to fill in my book of days. And I brought my Bringo board with me. So there you have it. Now, the Bringo board number that was called today is the one that says you have to start a whip or new start from a magazine. And that was number 25, and mine was a Raggedy Ann, but I didn't bring it with me, but I did bring Mr. Mittens, and Mr. Mittens is my alternative for that block. And so sometime today, I'll be working on Mr. Mittens for my 100 stitches. I'm not taking it with me to the stitching meetup because it's too confetti heavy, too much going on. But I did want to show you where I got to yesterday on my Christmas sentiments. I stitched over 400 stitches in this yesterday. I just got going, which is wonderful, and I want to share it with you. Fold it up a little bit so you can see all of it, and maybe not a whole bunch of extra fabric. Here's where I'm at, and Candy, you will notice I did go back in now that I've decided I'm not doing it in beads, and I went ahead and put the red stitches in those circles ready to nest the bead in the middle. And then I finished all of the white snowflakes around that middle flower. There were quite a few to do. And then I started this tree, and I got the bottom row partially completed of the tree. So I got a lot done, and I hope to pull this out again. It's on my Bringo board more than once, I think. So I hope to be able to show you more progress on this as we go. But I wanted a little difference for today, and so I'm taking my 13th Colony with me. I can use it for a prompt in another group, and I'll do that while I'm stitching. So I've got my bag set up. This was a gift at Christmas from my friend Glow. Get it back where you can see it. Isn't that precious? I love it. And so this is what I'm carrying my stitching in today. And I'm going to head out now and meet the group, hopefully a group. My husband said he would swing by. He's out walking. Put that away. He said he would swing by this morning and meet me there and make sure I had somebody to stitch with. And if I don't, he'll sit and read while I stitch. And I'll stitch there for a little while in hopes that somebody might come by to see if anybody showed up, and maybe they'll be encouraged, to come another day. But anyway, we are at sea today, and so that's why they have set up this, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to head on over to the stitching meetup. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is a little bit later today on the 3rd of January, and I have been working on my 13th colony by the Bay today. I was working on it for a prompt in my daily 30 acrostic, and it's for the letter O in the acrostic, and that stands for ocean, because this shows a big sailing ship coming into the bay of the ocean. And so it is shown in the picture, and it's shown in the part I've stitched, so I think I'm okay there. And today I actually stitched 417 stitches, and I had started working on it last night, and I got 162 in last night. But what that has accomplished is that big green hill over here on the other side of the tree. The page break is right in here. So I have gone past the page break onto the second page, all up here, and now I've gotten the next level with this hilltop here. And there are some trees. You can see a gap in here where the trees start, and they'll be on that hill, and then there'll be additional there's a house there. You can see part of the white. You can see where the roof is going to be right in here. So it's coming together, but I got all that done today. Today was a stitching meetup, and we were in one of the, we're actually in a restaurant that had some really pretty areas of seats that we could all sit together. We pulled them all together. There were 7 of us that showed up today, and they didn't start until 10 o'clock, and 10 o'clock is a little bit late from what I have experienced on the cruise ships before. They tend to start at 9, and one of the ladies that met up with us, Laura, asked everyone how they felt about starting at 9 tomorrow. So the vote was pretty unanimous that we would like to start earlier. So I'll have to pick out something, to stitch on for tomorrow. My Bringo whip for today is Mr. Mittens, and so I'll be pulling him out now because I'm to stitch on a magazine new starter whip, and he's a magazine whip, and he's the only magazine whip I have with me. So I had put him in as an alternate, and I'll be pulling him out now, and I'll be working on him before dinner. And I'll probably have to come back after the show tonight and finish up my 100 stitches. I don't think I'll have time to do a whole 100 stitches before dinner, but we shall see. I have to stop and get dressed for dinner. I'm in my jeans and a t-shirt right now, so I'm not going to dinner that way. Although we did see several dressed like that at dinner last night in the formal, in the fancier dining rooms. We were kind of surprised, but that's okay. I met a lady today who, this is her first cruise, and I was so tickled that she came to the stitching meetup to do she was doing knitting. It's actually a knitting group, and I just kind of crash it every time. We don't have a cross-stitch group that I've ever been to. There were cross-stitchers in there, people who had stitched before, but who have lost the ability with their eyesight to stitch very much anymore, and so they were knitting, but they were very appreciative of what I had been working on with my By the Bay, so I was happy to share it with them. I'll let you get on with what you were doing. I need to get ready for dinner, and then I need to sit down and try to start on my 100 stitches on Mr. Mittens. I may not be able to come back tonight to show him to you. It depends on whether or not I have time to do that. But I will tell you, today has been a wonderful, busy day. I got up and went to the stitching group. My husband met me there to check on me, and then he came back to pick me up for lunch. And he went to an enrichment seminar, and he went to a sale on board the ship. They had brand new t-shirts that they just got in yesterday that they had put on sale 2 for $25. And so we each got a t-shirt for our souvenir this year. And so he scoped that out for us today. And then we had lunch together, and then right after lunch, not long after lunch, we had lunch at noon. I came back and stitched a little bit more on my By the Bay, and then we went to line dance class. That was so fun. And of course, my husband, who's a big cut up, every time we would turn to where I could see him, like he was right in front of me, he would do some silly little move extra or wiggle his butt or do something funny to make me laugh. He is such a cut up. We had a great time. It was a big class, and it was full, but we had a great time. And the girl who taught it was really fun. And we'll be seeing her back again tomorrow because every C day they have line dance classes. So we'll be going back tomorrow to do that. We learned 3 today, and believe it or not, that's more exercise than I've done in a while. It was great though. It felt good. It felt good to get up and move, and move your body and that kind of thing. So that was fun. We went to afternoon tea at 3. So we basically left line dancing, made our way through the ship to the tea, and we were, just 5 minutes before they opened the doors, and had everybody go in for tea. And we sat at a table with 2 couples we had not met and got to know them a little bit. And one couple is here on the cruise celebrating their 62nd wedding anniversary. Isn't that amazing? It was great fun. We got to talk with them and see where all they'd been sailing and what their experiences had been, and we thoroughly enjoyed that. So I just wanted to give you an update before it got too late in the day and it got away from me. We are at sea today. We are on our way to Cartagena, and so we will be at sea again tomorrow. And then when we wake up the next morning, we'll be in Cartagena, and we will be having a formal night tomorrow night. So I get to wear my first little sparkly top that I got for the trip. So that'll be fun. Got on board, guys, found out they're going to have 3 formal nights. 3. So I get to wear one of my pretty outfits twice. And as luck would have it, we have a special reservation tomorrow night at a steakhouse here. So I'll wear my fancy outfit to the steakhouse, and then the next time I wear it, it'll be in the dining room, and they will not have seen it there. So as if they are carrying what I have on anyway, but I feel better that I will feel like I'm not just wearing the same outfit over and over again. So we will be keeping you in touch with where we are and what we're doing, and I hope you are having a great week of stitching. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina on January the 5th, and I am in Cartagena. Well, this has been a great trip. My husband and I have taken line dance classes. We tangoed yesterday. Wasn't very pretty, but we did it. And then last night we went to a steak restaurant, one of the few things that we do that isn't already part of the meal package. But we do that at least once on a cruise usually. So yesterday's call was to work on something in season, and so that's what I did. My in season piece is the Neige et Montaigne by Madame Lafille, and I had started working across the top row. I had the first one finished. I had the border of the second and part of the border of the third done when I got started. And this is where I ended up. I did over 500 stitches yesterday. I actually did about 597 stitches. I almost finished that middle room. Didn't quite make it. We had lots going on yesterday, plus it was formal night, and we went out to eat at a different place than normal. And it took about 2 hours to eat because they have so many courses there, and it was lovely. But it cut into my stitching time, but I'm very tickled with how much I got done. It definitely met the 100 stitch mark, but I have just a little bit of snow down here to go to finish that block. So definitely we'll finish that the next time I pick this up. And it is, I believe, I think it's on my Bringo board more than once, and if not, it's on my Whipco board, so I know I'll pull it out at some point. Now, today's number that's been called is the only one I cannot do. It is for a magazine new start. I have a magazine new start picked out for my friend Cheryl. I want to start a Raggedy Ann ornament, and it's in a magazine. And I didn't bring it all because I didn't have it fully kitted, and I had enough coming with me. So I've made a big circle on it. Said can't do till I get home, and I've circled it. So today I'll be working on Whipco. So I am working on my March wordplay. This is the one I don't have the cover sheet for, and so I'm just using this little picture to represent it. So I'm going to start this today. Our stitching group is meeting at 9, and I'll be going there with them. We had 13 ladies there yesterday. I was the only cross stitcher, but we had a lady wool felting, making a little gnome. Oh, precious. She was sitting right next to me, and I was watching her do that. It was amazing. So today we'll see if there are any stitchers that show up. I was supposed to go to a stitcher's, our Craft at Sea class yesterday. We were going to cross stitch a little pendant. And I showed up. My husband and I went down there. He was going to just make sure I had got to the right place. And we walked in, and they had a sign-up sheet on the table. And I went to sign in, and it said only 24 spots available, and they were all full. We didn't know they had a limit on the number, and I had already signed up for that, I thought, over the computer system on the ship. But they then told my husband when he asked about that, that that's just a bookmarking service for you so that you can remember where you want to go. It doesn't really register you for the class. So I got beat out by 24 other people, and I don't know how many others, had shown up and couldn't get in. And I'm thinking, where are all these stitchers? They should be coming to our stitching meetup. But anyway, 13 was a big number yesterday. That was great. We won't have as many, I don't think, this morning because we're, in port. And so a lot of people have gone on excursions. I'm recording.
You're not, I know.
Hang on one second. So I'm looking forward to it, and I will let you know how things go either the end of the day today or in the morning. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. It is later on January the 5th, and I am here to tell you about my progress today. Had a new start today. I worked on my Whipco new start because I couldn't work on my Bringo prompt today. My Bringo prompt was to start a new magazine start, and I didn't bring that with me. It wasn't one of the mini whips that I brought with me. So I started today on my March wood wordplay from With Thy Needle and Thread. And this is where I got to on it. Pretty excited. 869 stitches. And I think my Whipco goal, I have to check on it when I get home, was to do 5 hours of stitching on this. And I definitely did 5 hours of stitching with 869 stitches. I did more like 7 hours of stitching. So I'm really tickled. I have my first Whipco goal met so far. Yay! 1 out of 4. So anyway, that's exciting. I've already looked at Carolyn Zook's number that she's pulled for tomorrow, and that number is 19, and that is a whip or new start that reminds you of your childhood. And I was going to use Hulk Run Hollow for that, but I don't have it with me because it's a big one on the roller frame. So I had decided I would use I Am a Needlesmith because when I was a child, we went up to Lake Sinclair almost every weekend in the summer for my dad to fish. And loved staying by the lake and fishing and swimming there. And so I Am a Needlesmith has the lake in the background, but I also, as a young person, starting about 8 years old, my mother taught me to cross stitch and how to sew. And so the I Am a Needlesmith kind of fits for that as well. So even though I've just worked on it recently, I'm going to be pulling it back out tomorrow and putting at least 100 stitches in it. And I don't know what else I might work on or if I'll even get time to, because tomorrow, guys, we go through the Panama Canal. So starting about 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be up on deck with my husband, and we are going to watch ourselves go through several of the locks and just see how that whole process works probably before I start stitching at all. So I'm hoping to get a little bit done, but that's the whole purpose of this trip, is to go through there. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. And I will come back and tell you how it went. Hi again, everyone. This is Tina, and it is the 6th of January, and today we went through the Panama Canal. It took all day. My husband and I watched it from the boat for several times throughout the day. Started at 6 o'clock this morning, so it's been a long day. But today I was stitching for a prompt, not for Bringo. I had already finished that this morning, but I was stitching for another prompt in one of my Facebook groups, and I was stitching on I Am a Needlesmith again, and I was able to hit 2 prompts with it. Well, one was Bringo this morning. It was to remind you of your home when you were young, and we talked about that earlier. So I did 233 stitches for that. Then I had to work on it again for the letter N in my acrostic that I'm working on for my daily 30 group, and that had to have 300 stitches, so I did 331 today. So all total, 564 stitches in this one piece today, so it looks a little bit different. I got this whole area here with the sand and the water and the girl's hair. I've moved into her now, and I can tell you the page break is right along here. In fact, this water and her hair go below the page break. So the next time I work on this, I think I have a goal coming in my head. I think I would like to take it to the page break all the way across, and that way I only have one page of the pattern I have to worry about. So I think that'll be fun. It's been a beautiful day today. It's been a great fun day today. I've already looked for tomorrow's prompt, and tomorrow's prompt is to stitch on something that's going to be a gift. So for me, I'm going to be pulling out the one that I brought with me that will be a gift, and the name of it is It's Spring Fever. I'll be working on that beautiful Blackbird piece tomorrow, and hopefully be able to take it with me for a meetup with the stitching group again here on the ship, and get a little time to stitch with them tomorrow. I hope you're having a great week. I know we are, and I hope to talk to you soon. Happy stitching. Good evening, everyone. It's January the 7th, and we have spent our day in Panama City, Panama, and it rained. My husband got soaked on the way back. But it's been a lovely day. I got to stitch with about 5 of us that were meeting up today to stitch, and my prompt today was to stitch on something that's a gift. And so I pulled out my It's Spring Fever, and I have planned to stitch a portion of this for a gift for an exchange. And I have finished part of it today. And I'm going to cover up the name because that'll reveal too much. But anyway, I have finished my portion of what is going to be my gift, or at least the top of it. And my plan is to take this part of the Blackbird design and then to take another section of the Blackbird design, which is this border right in here, and just repeat it over and over again for the strip that I will need. And I'm going to make it a pillow type pin cushion, a pin keep. So I now have the top of the pin keep done, and I have added up how many stitch places I have for my side border, the piece that's going to go around it to make it the flat pillow, like a mattress finish, I guess is what I think Kathy Haberman called it. And so now I'm gonna, the next time I pick this up, I will start there, and I will probably just do the border and repeat it over and over till I have enough, space on that, because I think that's beautiful. And then I can put it together once I get home. Probably may even wait until I get home so that I can photocopy the pattern for this and just make 2 or 3 copies of it and go ahead and piece it together for the number of stitches that I have. And that way I can just read that pattern and not have to count, and be so careful. So this is my pin keep that I'm making, and I have a set of pins that I'm going to put in it. I think those will be really pretty. I think they'll go with the colors really well. I think I showed this to you when I first got them, but I'm going to do it again. And again, I'll put it in there so it'll hide the name on the gift exchange. But don't you think that'll look pretty with that as my pins and the pin keep, counting pins? So that'll be my exchange piece. And then I have a few little extras to put in the gift package, just to, to make it a little more special. So great news today. I was stitching on this for my Bringo, which only required 100 stitches. But I could also use it to meet another prompt that required 300 stitches. And once I did that and I saw how close I was to finishing what I wanted to do for this giveaway, I just went ahead and did it. So today I put in 600 stitches in this little puppy. Isn't that nice? I'm shocked. I'm so excited. Of course, this morning we met up and stitched from 9 till 11:30. People were ashore a lot, and my husband came by to get me for lunch and then went ashore. And so this afternoon, when he got back, I was in here stitching, having a great time. So I got to stitch part of the afternoon, and then he and I went and did some things and dinner, and we have since been to a show, and we've listened to a guy singing in one of the bars here, and he did a good job. And so we've just had a lovely evening, and I've come back now to kind of just tell you good night and wrap it up for today. I haven't even looked to see what the call is for tomorrow yet, but I'll do that before I go to bed. Pull it out, get it ready, because I'll take it with me for our stitching meetup in the morning. I ran into 2 of the ladies at the buffet today. They had gone on an excursion, and they had not come to the stitching meetup. So when I saw them this evening, they were all excited and said they were coming tomorrow. They were really happy because we have a day at sea, and they said, "We're so happy we do this. We enjoy it so much." And I thought, that's great. That's awesome. So I'll be doing that. I have no idea what I'll be stitching on yet, but I'll come back and share it with you as soon as I can. Happy stitching, everyone.
The taxi going with us.
Here we are at the end of the Panama Canal, exiting into the Pacific Ocean.